Hello, Trojan Nation. Welcome to our 2019-2020 Athletic Awards Banquet. I hope that everyone who is watching, I hope you're healthy. I hope you're doing well. What a strange way to end our school year. What a strange way to end our spring sports season. What a strange way to be bringing you this awards banquet right here. Who ever thought that we'd be doing this online and via video, and me sitting here struggling and trying to create this video for everybody. We've seen unprecedented decisions and actions having to be taken to cancel our school, end of our school year, cancel our athletic seasons in order to help try and control this virus. Seniors, I'm going to talk to you first. I truly feel for you as you've missed your senior year, baseball, maybe it's track, of other activities here at school, and I truly feel for you. I know as an athlete, if I'd have missed my senior year of baseball, I'd have been devastated, and so I truly feel for you in this. I also feel for our coaches. You know, they spend a lot of time, they prepare and they plan, and the sports season isn't just that little short amount of time, but they're out, they're trying to get better and trying to plan and prepare and learn and get better and trying to help make you better. So I feel for them as well, for the amount of time they put in, and it's something that they look forward to probably as much as you do. That's why they love the sport, and that's why they coach it, because of their love for that sport. To the underclassmen, let me say this. Don't take your playing career for granted. Every time you step out on the floor, every time that you go to a practice, don't take that for granted. You never know when it's going to get taken away from you. Nobody was planning on something as unordinary as this pandemic to take away everything that the seniors were trying to accomplish or wanted to do or wanted to participate in. So I hope that every time you step out there, you give everything you have, that you give it your all, that you work hard at it, that you, doesn't matter what it is, if it's in school or if it's in the out on the court or out on the baseball field or softball field, it doesn't matter. I hope that you give it everything you have. I also hope that those of you returning and planning on playing the sport next year, I hope you're staying in shape. I hope that you are working out. I hope that you've been trying to run. I hope you've been trying to do some workouts. I know for my classes, I've sent out a bunch of workout stuff. I hope you're doing something trying to improve yourself from a physical standpoint. I hope you're trying to stay in shape and be ready to go for the summer or next season, whatever it may be. I also hope that you're trying to improve in your sport. I hope you're trying to improve the skill of your sport. I understand this can be difficult, and Coach, I don't have anybody to pitch to me. I don't have anybody. I get it. But I know I've been on social media, and there are a ton of people out there who are putting out free stuff. Here's a home workout. Here's a home this. Here's a home that. Something you can do in your driveway. Something you can do in your basement. So get on there. Find resources. Reach out to your coaches. Ask them, hey, what are things I can be doing at my house during this time to help make me better? I can guarantee you Fortnite is not helping your baseball swing. So if you're playing a bunch of video games, shut them off, get outside, shoot some hoops, grab a bat, play catch, get your mom and dad out there, get your grandma out there. I don't care who it is. But get out there and try to improve in your sport. As we deal with this pandemic, we're going to bring you here an abbreviated awards ceremony, obviously in a much different format than we've ever done before. So this is just extraordinary and out of the way out of my comfort zone and of trying to do this. So absolutely, we'd rather do this in person. We'd rather see the athletes. We'd rather see all their parents and celebrate this all together. But we can't right now. I know me personally, I'm missing the meal. That's a huge thing. I love the meal. Tracy put it out last year. Incredible. So for me personally, those of you know me know I like to eat. I'm missing the meal. We're only going to recognize high school sports with this. So we decided not to do junior high and extend this out. So we're trying to make it fairly short so you can sit down and watch it and be comfortable watching it here pretty quick. So we're only going to recognize softball, we'll recognize football, basketball, and cheerleading. And so with the cut short of our season, then we won't do track and baseball, although Coach Credo would love to have made a video just for you guys. As of right now, our plan is to have you pick up your awards the same time you bring in your iPads, come in to clean your lockers out, all that good stuff. We'll have all the awards. We'll have letters and pins and bars and all that stuff, and all any awards that you win here that coaches give you. I'll have all that stuff ready to go, and it'll all be ready for you when you come in to pick it up. At the time of this recording right now, we are even uncertain what the summer holds. We're not sure if we can even do stuff over the summer. We're waiting on the governor. We're waiting on the health department to say that we can go ahead and open stuff up, and we're waiting on Mrs. Mack to give us the okay to be able to do stuff. So once we get some answers and once we have some answers out, coaches are going to reach out. They'll reach out to these athletes. Here's our schedule. They'll send stuff out, and we'll try and hopefully get back to some sort of a normal over the summer, whatever that looks like. But we'll hopefully get back to some sort of normalcy and be able to get in the gym, and we'll be able to get to work out and hang out with each other and have some fun doing that sort of stuff. I'd like to send out some thank yous. I need to send some thank yous out. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that do stuff. When an athletic event happens, there are a lot of people behind the scenes that do things for us. So first off, I'd like to thank the Booster Club, Cindy Fort, Amber Forbes, Tammy Angel, Dana Robnett, Deanna Curtis, Mandy Cope, many others who are involved in it. They help, the Booster Club raises money, and they help us pay for uniforms. They help us pay for equipment that the school can't necessarily always afford. This past fall, they put $15,000 into helping our baseball and softball field, helping redo it. It played fantastic during the softball season. Unfortunately, we didn't get to use it during the baseball season, but that was a big help, and our field needed some work. And so they pitched in, and they spent $15,000 on it. And so I'm asking you, they're doing it for their kids, they're doing it for my kids, but they're doing it for your kids too. And so I'm asking you to help out, volunteer to help, ask when meetings are, jump on our social media pages. I try and put out when those meetings are going to be, but get out and help them raise money, help them volunteer. They don't get paid anything to do this, but help them and helping raise money, trying to help our kids out. All right. I also need to thank our bookkeepers and our clock workers, Carol Ann, Sandy, Coach Hinkie, Jim Purvis. They all help keep the book or run the clock at some point during the basketball season for us. So thanks to them. Our grounds crew and our maintenance guys, Mac, Tyler, and John, those three guys, they set up, they tear down, they clean up, they have the building looking good and ready to go every time that we have an event here. Also, Jeff Angel, he does our announcing for us at basketball games, adds a lot of character and adds a lot to our environment as far as that goes at our basketball games. So big thanks to him also. To our teachers and staff, they volunteer to work the gate. They come in, they work the gate for us, and then they sit and they watch games, they come to games. So big thanks to our teachers also. Coaches, I want to thank our coaches. They spend a lot of time, they spend a lot of time getting ready, they spend a lot of time preparing, they spend a lot of time getting things done for the season, they spend a lot of time with your kids. So I thank them also for their time and their effort. Our bus drivers, Carol Ann, Butch, Coach Finnewald, Coach Woodruff, all those guys helped drive a bus for us. They got us to two events and got us home safely. And so big thanks to those folks for doing that. And then lastly, I thank the parents. Thank you for your support. As a parent myself, I understand the amount of practices we go to and the amount of time that you have to put in and spend on the road and traveling and bringing people back and forth and spending the summer and the money that it takes and the commitment that is involved. And so I thank you for that, and thank you for that commitment for our kids and our programs. Quick reminder just about physicals. Remember last year, Misha said that we could do a 2-year physical, and if you had a physical the year before, it was grandfather claused in. Well, now all those physicals are up. Okay, so we need to make sure that before the fall sports season starts, you're getting out, you're getting your physicals. I would warn you, get that ahead of time. Don't wait till the very last minute. With this pandemic and maybe people getting sick, we have no idea if doctors will get overrun or not. You don't want to wait till the last minute. You can't get in because there's a lot of sick people, or all of a sudden people are going to the doctor because this is over and they feel safe going to the doctor. So now the doctors are just absolutely packed and booked, and you don't want to miss some practices, end up missing some games just because you waited on your physical. You say, Coach, I don't know if I need a physical or not. Shoot me an email. I will look it up and I'll tell you. Even on the 2-year ones, there's a spot where doctors can say this is only good for 1 year. And so we did have a few of those. So if you're unsure, hit me up, ask me if you need one or not. I'll let you know, and you can go get one. All right. Before we get started here, we had a pretty good year with our athletic programs again. Big congratulations, Coach Hinkie, the softball girls. They won the first ever CAC athletic conference title. And so that was big for them. So first ever conference title in the CAC for softball, and they won the first district title since 1996. And so huge congratulations to them. A lot of hard work went into that. Congratulations to Coach Hinkie and to the girls. Also congratulations, Coach Curtis, girls basketball team, back-to-back Final Fours, an absolutely tremendous postseason run by them. Nothing ever done in our school history before. So back-to-back Final Fours. And then obviously we get down there, we have the ticket issue and the COVID-19 issue, and that's when it all hit, and it got really crazy. But an absolutely fun run by them, and congratulations to them also. And so now we'll go ahead and we'll get started. Our first coach up will be Coach Hinkie with softball.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to, first off, I wish we could see each other and celebrate our athletic banquet like we normally do, but I still want to celebrate our athletes as much as we can because really our athletes are fantastic and they just make community sports that much better. So I want to start saying start with a couple thank yous to some specific people, specific groups. First, I want to thank our community, our 6 Booster Club. They gave us a ton of support throughout the season with with giving us snacks for games, drinks, meals. They really just truly helped us with everything that we needed to do with concession stand, just giving us constant support. So I want to thank everyone for that. I want to send a thank you to our school board, Mrs. Mack and Mr. Curtis. I want to thank you for allowing myself, Mrs. Coach Thomas, and Jeff Angel for coaching our girls, because really without them, we wouldn't have had the success that we did. So thank you guys so much. To Mr. Coach Thomas for always having the field ready, giving us constant support with practices, games, making sure transportation was set up for anything during the season, postseason. So really just thank you so much for continuing to be a mentor for me as a young coach and just for supporting our team. To all of our bus drivers for helping us out getting 2 games. Carol Ann was one, Dewey. Just thank you guys so much for just helping us out so much. So thank you guys. To our parents of our 14 players, thank you so much for showing up and just giving our support for our team, because really to have fans up for you guys to travel as far as you guys do for our conference, we have games that are 2 hours away. It was really great to have parents and support for all these young ladies, and the fact that you guys cheered for everyone and just made it feel like a huge family for our softball program. So thank you so much and for helping us along the way. To my players themselves, they have some high expectations their way from myself and my coaching staff. They worked hard every day. There wasn't a practice where I felt like, oh gosh, we're not going to do well at our game tomorrow. They truly just have a competitive edge and a desire to play and a desire to win. That's stuff that can't be taught. I can talk about it until I'm black and blue, but those kids really they want to work. They want to do the best they can. They don't want to go out and be embarrassed. They want to just bring back that solid just work ethic every day. It was just wonderful to have that. And it really just made us more successful in the end. I want to thank my coaching staff, to my assistant coaches, Carrie Thomas, Jeff Angel, even Britton Francis towards the end. Thank you guys so much. You all gave so much time, effort. You were there for front toss. Sadly, we get hit a couple times during front toss, but you guys were able to give our girls really great reps and let me be able to focus on a little bit more of the work or the paperwork and everything, or all the other sides of it. So it was great for the beginning of games when I'm trying to set up the book, game changer, that you guys are able to either pitch front toss, hit reps, do all the things that we need to do to get our girls as prepared as they can be before the game. So thank you guys so much for just all the support you give our girls. We wouldn't have had the season we did without it. It was great to show up to fields with 4 coaches sometimes because it was intimidating, and honestly, it was just great to be around you guys in the dugout because, again, we're all competitive people and we all wanted to win. So I'm pretty sure that helped us towards the end of the season when we are all focused and ready to go. Finally, I want to say thank you to my very supportive family. Being from another town, coming to a school that I didn't grow up in, it's kind of difficult at times just because you're not around family. You're trying to be a family or be a support towards other people. So it's great to have that support at 6:30 in the morning when I'm calling my mom, FaceTiming my mom, making sure, or just checking in. She's helping me with stress for the day. Towards the end of the season with postseason, they were there to calm my nerves as much as they could just because I had never been in that situation as a coach. So it was great to have them just to rely on and get that support from an outside perspective, just because we have our community, we're unity with community. But it was great to have support because they were able to come cheer on the girls, even at the Silex game at Salisbury. So it was just great that they're always there to support me with teaching and coaching, which I think is huge with my career choice, just because we're all there for each other and we're all there for the kids. So just trying to jump into it. A quick recap of our varsity season. This was the season that I wanted to focus on the girls setting goals. In the past, we'd worked on work ethic. We talked about everything that they needed to, but that's what you talk about in every sport. So we started specifics, like what were our goals as a team? What were our goals individually? What were small goals, big goals, things that we needed, that we can measure throughout the season, and things that we would have to wait till the end of the season to kind of see. We were really goal set this year because in the past we've always said we want to make it past first round of districts. Well, what are we going to do to get past that? What are we going to do with our batting averages, our fielding, our attitude? That was just something that I really wanted to talk about this season because we all needed to have our goals and have our priorities set before we jumped really into the season. So some big goals for us were winning 18 games. Sadly, we weren't able to do that before postseason, but the fact that we had a goal to try and achieve, it kept our standards up that much higher. We wanted to improve batting averages. We wanted to have consistency on the field. One of our athletes wanted to hit a home run. Sadly, none of our athletes hit a home run this year, but that was one of their goals. They just wanted to improve all around. And I could talk about each individual girl's goals, but in the end, I think majority have reached their goals this season, which was huge for us. So as a team, we hit 323 batting average. We had 147 RBIs and 217 hits, which were all improvements from years before. So as the season was going on, we had big wins over like Pilot Grove, Cairo, Westrian. We had done really well in the New Franklin tournament. We lost to Atlanta, sadly, but that game was so intense and so back and forth. The aggressiveness of like Alexis Welch on the bases, trying to steal home several times, that kept them on their toes. So no one could really walk all over us because we weren't going to let them. We had that intensity of, we're going to make you earn it. We're not just going to give it to you. So I think that kind of mentality really set high standards for us towards the end of postseason, or towards the end of the season, because our first part of our season was so strong and so aggressive. So I'm very proud of that, just because our promising season after that was so wonderful to watch. Big milestones was for the softball program. We had our first CAC conference win, with being 7-0 in our conference record. We outscored our opponents in the conference 78-9, where last year we ended up getting third in the conference and we outscored our opponents 75-15. So we showed growth. We showed our growth in ourselves, growth in allowing less. We were smarter on the mound. We were smarter at the plate. So we just had so much growth from last year to this year. Another milestone is that we won our high school's third district championship for softball with a 3-2 win over Silex. If you were at that game, you know how intense it was. It was back and forth. We jumped early with trying to hitting off their pitcher. She was faster. She had good movement. We were prepared. We were very aggressive, and we wanted to make sure that they were not just going to walk away with it. We were going to give them a run for their money, because at the end of the day, we didn't have anything to lose. They had everything to lose. So we were just super proud because the girls were aggressive. Again, Alexis Welch on the bases, Natalie Thomas, Emma Angel, all those girls were trying to advance on the bases so their catcher couldn't sit back, their pitcher couldn't just rely on her fastball. We were able to adjust and make great strides towards our game that let us come out with a great win. So I was very proud of the girls for having the first conference and district championship title in over 20 years. So we are super proud of just the season as a whole, because in the end, these girls earned every little bit of it. So again, super proud of those girls. So now that we've talked about how proud we are of them, I want to make sure that I give notice of the girls and make sure that I introduce them. Sadly, they can't join me up on a stage where we can talk about them. I can shake their hand, but I do want to talk about them and bring to your attention who was on the team, because these girls really did everything and anything they could for us throughout the season. Our freshmen consisted of Ava Garnett, Erin Nichols, Olivia Kuda, Ivy Hayes, and Sarah Angel. Our sophomores are Alexis Welch, Shelby Clark. Our juniors are Michaela Drainer, Emily Hoyt, Emmy Johnson, and Emma Angel. Our seniors are Natalie Thomas, Deanna Brooks, and Kaylee Diesel. So I want to start off with Senior Service Award. These girls, Kaylee, Deanne, Natalie, they worked so hard for our program. They were great leaders. They brought freshmen under their wings. They've really stepped up as young adults, as young leaders, as athletes, because they had to. With being a small school, we have so little choices. We don't have tryouts. Who comes in is who we have, and we make do with what we can. So the fact that we had to set the standard so high for our incoming freshmen from them, because if our seniors are goofing off, that means our freshmen can't too. So I made sure that our seniors were ready to lead, ready to make great strides, set goals with them, and just to be because they needed to be my second set of eyes. So I really relied on them to be as helpful as they can be, along with my coaching staff. So to commemorate our seniors, we wanted to give them something special. We wanted to give them a signed district championship game ball from Silex, where we won 3-2 in 7 innings. The whole team signed them. I'm just super proud of these girls, so we'll make sure you get those. But our Senior Service Award goes to Kaylee Diesel, Deanne Brooks, and Natalie Thomas. Next is our Gold Glove Award. This girl, again, there's nothing that she can't do behind the plate. She started out the year with an injury where we weren't really sure if we were going to be able to use her behind the plate. She really had to become a leader because she had to teach a freshman her position, which ended up being a freshman junior, who were sisters. So that was a challenge in itself. But this girl really she stepped up in other ways than before. Because as a sophomore, she had to step up as a catcher and earn her spot, make it her own, settle down a pitcher. This year, with the injury, she had to become a leader with that. She had to teach. She had to be not just a coachable player, but she had to become a small coach herself. So the fact that she was able to come back strong, help us out, put the ball in play, became aggressive on bases when we needed her to. She really just gave us everything that she could behind the plate as a leader, with calming Emma down and everything else. So our Golden Glove Award goes to Emmy Johnson. Next is our Best Hitter Award. This athlete ended the season with a .447 batting average. She had 22 RBIs and 11 strikeouts. She spent so much time outside of practice. Great, just natural swing. She put the ball in play, was very reliable when it came to putting the ball fair in play, like I said. The Best Hitter Award goes to Natalie Thomas. Our ace of the staff had a 2.311 ERA and 100 strikeouts this season. She has 217 strikeouts for her career total as a junior, which is huge for us because we didn't pitch her in games that we thought we were going to win. We pitched her against our really tough teams. She has come so far from a freshman. She had big shoes to fill last year because she had a great year as a sophomore. So as a junior, she had to kind of fill her own shoes and kind of one up again saying, what can I do next? Her changeup has developed a lot. She has a great amount of speed. She really just became someone that we can rely on the pitcher's mound. And we're just super proud, and I can't wait to see what she has as her senior year. So our ace of the staff is Emma Angel. Next, I want to move on to the Most Improved. When I think of this award, I think of someone that just has so much growth from year to year. This athlete that is ready to just lead and work hard and do whatever she can to become the best athlete she can. She might not be the most athletic kid, but she's going to work harder, work smarter, be more efficient. So when it came to this athlete that I chose for Most Improved, I had to think she started off being a right-handed batter, moved to left-handed. She was she told me from the get-go, I want to be a second baseman, but she moved to the outfield. She moved both sides of the field. This athlete really just showed me how much she can do within a small amount of time. I wish she would have played her junior year. I can only imagine what she would be like. But again, she had a fantastic year, and I'm not mad about it whatsoever. So I wish I would have another year with her, honestly. But the Most Improved award goes to Kaylee Diesel. Next, I want to point out our Outstanding JV Award. This athlete, she was thrown into a lot of difficult situations on varsity. She had to hit for upperclassmen, and then she had to hit in our postseason. She truly just had to do so much as a freshman. So I think this is going to be a great stepping stone for her. I can't wait to see what she does as a sophomore with having more responsibility on the team with varsity. So our Outstanding JV Award goes to Ivy Hayes. Last award that I want to do before we get on to patches and bars is Player of Promise. This girl, if you only knew what she did do during the season, had to do during the season, you would agree that she would get this award too. She pitched, she caught, she played infield, she played outfield, she moved from both sides of the field. This girl really is a jack of all trades. She has a great work ethic. She is a coachable kid. I really wish I could be around to see her sophomore through senior year, because really she's going to have a great career as long as she continues to make strides. That freshman year wasn't just it. She has 3 more years to show this program what she can do and what she can bring. So I'm super excited to challenge that to her. So as a freshman coming in, it's a huge amount to, one, be a varsity catch, or had to start out as a varsity catcher for her sister. She had to become a second baseman. She had to learn a whole different side of the field that she wasn't super comfortable with at first, to then hopefully possibly take over the other side of the field as shortstop. So this player has a ton of responsibility on her shoulders, but I'm super proud of her. I know she'll give 110%. I have no doubt she'll be successful in the future. So our Player of Promise is Sarah Angel. Again, just to reiterate, we had a huge year in our CAC conference. We were 7-0. We had 4 girls on the all-conference team, 1 being honorable mention. But the MVP for the CAC conference team would be Natalie Thomas, along with Emma Angel and Emmy Johnson being on first team, and Alexis Welch being honorable mention. So congrats, girls. We had 5 girls make the all-district team. We had pitcher Emma Angel, catcher Emmy Johnson, infielder Natalie Thomas and Alexis Welch, and finally utility Sarah Angel. So congrats to you all for being all-district. So from all the athletes nominated from 4 all-district teams, so that makes up an all-region team. So the following players made the all-region team out of those 4 different districts. So pitcher Emma Angel, catcher Emmy Johnson, and infielder Natalie Thomas were named all-region. So congrats to you all. Again, huge feat, because these are really tough districts teams. So congrats. Something I don't think we talk about enough is academics. A student or an athlete being a student athlete. Student always comes first. These girls really just showed and excelled, and showed how much they could succeed academically in the classroom, along with on the field. So the following girls achieved being in the top 25% of their class, along with keeping a cumulative GPA above a 3.5. So I'm very proud to announce that Deanne Brooks, Natalie Thomas, Michaela Drainer, Emily Hoyt, and Emmy Johnson were named were awarded by the Missouri High School Fast Pitch Softball Coaches Association as academic all-state. So congrats to you all. Really, to be a student athlete, it's a hard thing, but to excel as a student is probably the best thing. So congrats to you all. All right, athletes earning their varsity C, or their C for playing a varsity sport. Sarah Angel will be earning her C. The athletes earning their softball varsity pin will be Sarah Angel, Shelby Clark, Alexis Welch, and Kaylee Diesel. Girls earning their varsity bar are Natalie Thomas, Deanne Brooks, Kaylee Diesel, Emma Angel, Emmy Johnson, Emily Hoyt, Michaela Drainer, Alexis Welch, Shelby Clark, and Sarah Angel. Again, thank you so much for supporting our softball program. I've been very blessed to be able to work with these athletes for 3 years and just become closer. I want to thank my coaching staff just for putting up with me. I know I can be a lot, but thank you guys so much. I wish you all the best and all the luck in the world in the upcoming seasons. I will truly miss you all, and thank you guys very much. Bye.
everyone. I'm John Cleaver, the head football coach for the Vanfar R6 football program. I want to thank all you fans for your support this season, and we look forward to hopefully getting football started soon. This offseason, we made a lot of advancements to our facilities. We have a new updated football locker room, and we've done a lot of advancements to our weight room. So hoping to make some improvements to the players' abilities and hopefully get more improvement to our football team and see some more development this next season. I want to send a shout out to Garrett Schmidt. He was a tight end in 2019 that earned second team all conference and then first team all district for postseason awards. Look forward to having him come back as a senior as well as the rest of the senior class from R6, and anybody else that wants to come and join the football program is more than welcome to. I think that you guys have a lot of talent and a lot of special players there, and it's been great to get to know both communities this season, and I want to see this football team get a bigger roster and get more wins, and I think everybody will enjoy that too. Hope to see you guys soon. Signing off.
Hello again, everyone. I'm back with boys basketball this time, present awards for it, talk a little bit about our season this year. First off, I want to start off with some thank yous. I need to thank Coach Woodruff and thank Coach Credo for their work and their help and the things they do and things they do behind the scenes that you don't see, and the time they spend with our basketball team and our program, our kids, and thank them for that and practices and all the stuff behind the scenes that happen that people don't see. But a big thank you to those two guys. Also, I need to thank my wife, Carrie. I think in my family, basketball season's a long season. It gets to be long, and I get grouchy a lot of times, and so I come home, and sometimes they're the ones that get the brunt of it. So I thank them for their patience with me and still for loving me, even though I get grouchy and I get grumpy with them at times. So just a little bit about this season. We were a very young team. We lost a lot of experience from last year. We really only returned a couple kids that saw a lot of action or had a lot of varsity action. So we were really young, and it took us a while. We struggled early. We struggled trying to figure out who we were and what we could do and what worked well for us and what didn't work well for us. So it was a trying time, learning experience early, and what we were trying to do. We had some injuries that hurt, some guys who missed some time because of it. We ended up being sick. We had a lot of sickness go through at the very end of the season. I think there was a game late in the year where we only had 7 available kids who weren't either hurt or injured or sick at that point in time. So we had to overcome that. I thought that we improved a whole lot during the season, and it may not have shown in our wins and losses in that aspect of it. But I felt as a program and as a team, I felt like that we really improved a lot. The guys kind of figured out what they did well, what we didn't do well, what they didn't do well, and then began to use those and put things together. And so we got significantly better. We played a lot of really good games late in the year. It may not have been a win, but we did play a lot of really good games late in the year and tough games and tough teams. Our schedule was brutal. Just speaking of that, our schedule was absolutely brutal this year. With our conference, we had one team in the quarterfinals. We had 3 teams that won a district, and so it was a very, 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 very tough conference this year. We felt on the boys' side, just through coaches, we felt like there were 4 or 5 different teams that could have won our conference any night and won any game any night. So it was extremely tough. I went back and I figured it up. We played, of our 25 games, played 25 games this year. 17 of those games were played against a team with an above 500 record. So you think about that for a second. 17. So only 8 teams we played all year did not have a 500 record or above. So very, very tough. We played 6 teams that were ranked in the top 10 at one point in time in the season, or were ranked when we played them at that point in time. So extremely difficult schedule that we played on our end, which was good. We saw a lot of good basketball. We saw a lot of good basketball players this year. So I think in the long run, that made our team that much better. And we really got better. We really improved. Guys worked hard. They came every day. Still had a great attitude and just worked hard to improve and to get better. And I think it showed. Late in the year, we played a lot of tough games. We finished up the season. We finished up on a high note, I guess, so to speak. We beat Keatsville in the opening round of districts. They were the 3 seed and ranked in state. They won, I think, 17, 18, 20 games, somewhere in there. And we were the 6th seed, so it was a big upset for us to get there. We turned around, we lost to Sturgeon then in the next game. But we played really, really, really well, gave them everything that they wanted from us and more. I'm very thankful this year for our seniors. This is my 4th year here, and so these guys have been with me now for 4 years. Danny Kuda, Hunter Hoflicker, and Caden Escamilla, and it's been a joy to coach those guys, to watch them grow as not only players but grow as young men also. And so I'm very thankful for them and their time and their effort and into our program and trying to make it better. A couple of postseason awards that we had that we gave away this year in as far as being recognized by other coaches. Caden Escamilla was named All Conference and All District, and so congratulations, Caden. He was named to both of those teams as a conclusion of the season. And then from us, I'm going to give away 2 awards this year. We kind of talked about how to do this and with all this being new and online and all this good stuff and kind of where we were for the season, we decided to go with 2 awards and 2 awards that we feel are very important and want to give out. So the very first award that we're going to give out from our team is the Most Improved Award. This young man came in last year not having played basketball, not knowing a whole heck of a lot about the game, and really worked his tail off, got better, started a game here and there, came off the bench, played a lot of minutes for us. And our most improved player this year was Austin Taylor. And the Most Improved Award is the hardest award in my mind to win, because now what are you going to keep doing year after year after year? The next year, you're going to get better. The next year, you're going to get better, et cetera. So there's a lot of work that goes into the Most Improved Player Award. And then the last award that we're going to give out this year is the Coaches Award. To me, the Coaches Award is the biggest one that I give out. It's a guy, I started it, probably 10 years ago or so. I had a young man who would absolutely run through a wall, do everything you asked. He was the most talented. He wasn't the most gifted athlete that we had. Wasn't even close to the best basketball player we had. But he did everything we asked of him, and he gave everything he had, night in and night out. It didn't matter what the situation was, whatever. And so for me, the Coach's Award is that guy who gives us everything he's got, regardless of talent level. It doesn't matter. He gives us everything he's got every night. He's a leader. He talks. He helps develop and grow younger kids. And so this year, our Coach's Award goes to Danny Kuda. And so with that, that is the conclusion of the boys' basketball season. Again, I'm looking forward to the summer and to getting back out, and hopefully we can get things back to normal, and we can get out and get back into the gym, and we can continue to work and continue to get better and get to camps and really improve our skill and improve our basketball team, and most importantly, improve them as young men. Thank you.
Good evening, and it's time for girls basketball as a part of the athletic awards presentation. Let me start by saying that the end of basketball season and just the months that have been after that have been very tough. The girls, the parents, the players, and the fans, witnessed a season that will not soon be forgotten. It was a tough ending from the sense that the kids had to worry about, spectators and who was being let in, and just kind of the chaos of the day, getting their temperature checked when they came into the Final Four, and
But they did an amazing job kind of rising above that and playing at a very high level. And just super proud of them and what they accomplished this year. Kind of like to start off with just saying, thanks to some people, the Booster Club for all their support and hard work, Jim Purvis and Joel Credo, who kept the clock this year for us. Jeff Angel for always announcing and really adding to the beginning of our contests. Carol Ann Folta, Sandy Gassler, and Madison Hinkey for keeping book this year. All of our bus drivers that take us to events, we really appreciate that. My wife, who goes through the season with me, the good, the bad, and is very supportive of me coaching, and I appreciate her allowing me to do that. My assistant coaches, Stacy K. Rose and Haley Nobis, two of the ladies that honestly make such a huge impact on our program, not only just modeling the behavior that we want to see in our young ladies, but at the same time just what they bring to the table and help with the program and really help me do and put the product that we have out on the floor every night. So I really appreciate them and their help and what they do for the team. Our videographer, Aaliyah Welch, was very reliable, and that's a big part of what we do now, where we have our stats done by an outside group, Huddle. They take that film, and it's very vital that it's good so they can stat our games. Our youth coaches that volunteer their time to make our athletes better. This group doesn't have the success that they had in high school if a long time ago there weren't people putting in the time and the sweat to make them and prepare them for high school ball. So all of you, I appreciate your efforts with these kids when they were younger. It made their high school experience very, very special. Missouri Bank, Community R6 School District, the Robnett family, Myers Funeral Home, and the Dogfather for their contributions to covering the cost of the Final Four trip. The last 2 years we found out how much that trip costs, and it's substantial to the district and to just so having supporters to help with that, I really appreciate. Coach Thomas for all the behind the scenes help. There's a lot of work that goes into every win after a district championship. Stuff you have to submit to MISHA, trying to figure out where you're going to stay, where you're going to practice, what charter you're going to take, all that kind of stuff. If I miss someone, I apologize. There's just a lot of working parts to a team that has had this kind of success, and so we appreciate you if we didn't get you mentioned. At this time, I would like to list off varsity letter winners and JV participants for the 2019-2020 season. This year, letter winners, Natalie Thomas, Delaney Bowers, Sadie Hoyt, Kaylee Diesel, Lauren Robnett, Deanne Brooks, Emmy Johnson, Emma Holmes, Brianna Beamer, Paige Meyer, Alexis Welch, Shelby Clark, and Sarah Angel. On the JV participant certificate side, Ivy Hayes, Brenna Beamer, Kayla Jett, and Olivia Kuda. Just a little bit about our season. It was a monumental season for Community R6. We ended up 28-2 on the season. For the second half of the season, we were ranked number 1, which this group, honestly, with the careers that they've had and the years that we've had before, we're really prepared for that, and I think it was not a distraction. They were the outright conference champs. We shared that a year ago with Cairo, and to win it outright was very special. To beat Cairo on their floor was very special. The New Franklin tournament, we've been in it for 2 years. The girls have won it the last 2 years. Just their dominance in that tournament. And then the Sturgeon tournament, which I think really put us on the map. We had really three great wins in that tournament. New Bloomfield, and wins over Salisbury and South Callaway, who are arguably, South Callaway was ranked at the time. Salisbury probably should have been ranked at the time. And just, bigger classes, great wins over great programs. To win that Sturgeon tournament was very special. The district championship, obviously, and then the third place finish at the Final Four. This team has made history. They go down as the best team to play at Community R6. I really feel like a few things go our way, a couple 50-50 calls maybe go our way. We take down the defending champs in Walnut Grove in their backyard. For those that don't know, they're a few minutes from Springfield. It's kind of like a home game for them, and I really felt like, and Coach Henry did as well from Walnut Grove, that we were the two best teams in the state, and I think the kids proved that. It was an amazing game, even though it was under a small crowd with this COVID-19 stuff. It was a special game that'll go down in Misha history, that just went back and forth. Nobody led by much more than a bucket or two, and we had the lead at halftime, and down the stretch we had a few things that didn't go our way, and they ended up beating us. But I really feel like this team had all the makings of winning it all, and very proud of their finish regardless, and just their focus all year on the big common goal that was winning it all. I mentioned this earlier, just big wins. Cairo has become our conference rival, beating them twice this year. The first time we played as good as we could play at our place and just really kind of broke their spirit. And then we had to beat them, honestly, we beat them 3 times, beat them twice in the conference and then in a district championship. And they had multiple chances to throw different scouting reports at us, and the kids, fought that off and beat them 3 times. Our win over Salisbury and South Callaway, as I mentioned, and then Chamois and then Green City. Our matchup with Green City again, and Brooke Littrell and all that she brings to the table. It was a perfect example of our team just willing our program back to the Final Four, and what a great team effort to beat a great individual player. So just couldn't be more excited for the girls and finishing off their career the way they did. At this point, and obviously you'll get these awards when we have our pickup and return items day, but conference championship patches, district championship patches, state championship patches, all of those you'll be receiving at a later date. I'd like to talk about all conference at this time in the CAC. We had a special thing happen this year. We had 5 young ladies make the team, and that's a rarity. That just doesn't happen. But this was a special team. Very proud of the other coaches in the conference to see how special this team was, and honor our kids because all 5 of them belonged on the team. The most valuable player of the conference this year, unanimously, was Natalie Thomas. Delaney Bowers was an all-conference player, Alexis Welch, Brianna Beamer, and Sadie Hoyt. And so, again, to get 5 on the team, it just doesn't happen. And this is a special team, and this is a deserving group of girls. All district this year, we had 3 girls named to the team, which again is very difficult with the limited number of people they pick. Natalie Thomas, Delaney Bowers, and Alexis Welch was chosen by the committee. And then all state honors this year were Natalie Thomas and Delaney Bowers, and it is very tough to get 2 young ladies on that team, but If you've seen these two individuals play, they're all staters, and they're special basketball players, and very proud of them that they both made that team. The next thing on the agenda for me is individual awards, and the first individual award is Most Improved Player. This young lady was just different from the first day of conditioning. I noticed a change in her during softball season as I was a spectator. Just her desire and focus for her team and to play and make an impact was different, and it filtered into the winter in basketball. She became an impact player. She knocked down shots when she came off the bench. She stayed after practice and modeled, what younger players should want to do and get better outside of practice. She was instant offense off the bench. Our most improved player this year is Kaylee Diesel. JV Player of the Year is the next award. This goes to a young lady who's very gifted on the court when handling the ball, creating angles to score, and distributing the ball to others. Other coaches have commented on how smooth she is with the ball and just how fast she is with the ball or without the ball. She's about the same speed, and that's the to the coaching eye, that shows how good of a basketball player you are when you don't lose much speed when you have the ball in your hand. One of her biggest attributes for me is she just refuses to lose. This kid, since she was young, whatever she had to do at the end of a game to get a win, she found a way to get it done. She's kind of a silent assassin. I love to coach her. The JV Player of the Year goes to Sarah Angel. The next award is highest free throw percentage. We usually set a bar of 50 free throws shot in a year for this award to be eligible for it. This young lady, most of the year, shot over 90%, which is just unheard of. For a lot of the year, she was at 94%. I think she finished around 87%, which is just unheard of for an entire season. In her career, she has finished a lot of games in the last 4 minutes where a team tried to go to the foul game to beat us, and you could put the ball in her hands, and she wanted it to win a ball game, and she would step to the line and just put the dagger in teams. Highest free throw percentage goes to Natalie Thomas. Queen of the boards this season, this young lady was a big reason for our success. She had a breakout sophomore year and will be a force to be reckoned with the next 2 years. She averaged about 6.4 rebounds a game. She is a special combination of speed and strength. This Queen of the Boards this year was Alexis Welch. The Sportsmanship Award, this is the next award is kind of one I was torn, and I gave it to 3 players. And because I feel like this group of young ladies, they treat everyone, not just their circle of friends, with respect. They understand that there's not an I in team. They accept their roles that at times are dirty work, but much needed to win. Drama does not consume them, and the other teams that we play comment on how these girls conduct themselves. The biggest thing for me is sportsmanship in competition is important because the brand that these girls kind of bring to the R6 uniform is important because players before them, players after them can be proud of how they operated when they put that uniform on, and just the body language they had and how they treated people, and just I think that's very important in today's game. So sportsmanship goes to Emma Holmes, Lauren Robnett, and Emmy Johnson. The next award is Thread the Needle. This award goes to a young lady who had 13 assists in one game this season. She understands the offense very well and delivers the ball on point to people when they need it. Most of her passes have a purpose at the end. Rather than just getting rid of it, she's finding people in spots where they can score. Her assist to turnover ratio is very good, and she is a big reason that we've had so much success in the last 2 years. She's a complete player, very focused, and I think motivated to have a monster senior year. Just very proud of how she has conducted herself at the point guard position, and managed games when teams tried to press us and turn us over. Thread the Needle award goes to Brianna Beamer. Next award is the Winstinct Award. What can I say about this player except her career is proof of her instinct to win. Her athletic ability has been eye-popping since she was little. Unfortunately, injuries have kept her off the court for most of 2 seasons in her high school career, but she just kept coming back for more and helping her team win. She was an impact player that helped us on this run to the Final Four this year, and was impressive in how much she kind of threw caution to the wind and was willing to put all on the line to help her team win. She's been through a lot, but her maturity, her willingness to say, I'm going to give this another try and try to help my team win a state title was just inspiring at the end of this year. And I'm very proud of her for coming back, with all she's been through, and giving it another shot here at the end of this year. The Winstinct Award goes to Deanne Brooks. Defensive Player of the Year. This award I gave to 2 individuals. I think during a season like this, you've got to have stoppers, and these 2 girls were definitely that. The first one drew their best player almost every night. Typically that kid was bigger, taller. She was a mature player this year, and a leader, knowing she really fought towards the common goal, which was a state title. She was unselfish, and just a pleasure to coach. She, behind the scenes, was a leader and managed things that needed to be managed when kids lost focus of what our goal as a team was. And, to be right honest with you, to win at the level we won at this year, you have to have a toughness and kind of a don't mess with me attitude. And this player definitely has that for us. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Sadie Hoyt. The second player I'd like to recognize on the defensive side was a person that led us in steals by a large margin. And for our team, steals are probably more impactful than rebounds, actually, because they lead to so many high percentage shots in our press. Layups that we're not getting that good a look against their entire defense. Her anticipation and disruption this year was just different. She was so active on both sides of the floor. Great offensive player, great defensive player. And, I was able to trust her to guard their best player or one of their best players and not get into foul trouble. Because your offensive players, sometimes you worry about them sitting on the bench and not scoring for you if they're getting in foul trouble. And she did a nice job of being able to handle both assignments, scoring and defensively. She really worked on her game. She's going to go on and play for her college team, and this is going to be a benefit. At the college level, most of the time everybody can score, but who can defend? And I think this young lady has really put herself in a place to play a critical role on her college team. Defensive Player of the Year, the second one goes to Natalie Thomas. The last award of the night is Offensive Player of the Year. it is also my belief that you don't have the type of year we had without a 1-2 punch offensively. Both of these young ladies were 1,000-point club members in their high school career. They were all conference players, all district players, all state players, and both of them will be moving on to play in college for their respective universities. The first player could get to the hole anytime she needed, and she would find a seam and just burst through it. I always teased her that she was very good at chicken. When other kids would bolt, she would win and get to the rim. She was a zone buster. If you tried to protect the lane, that's one of the things she was so good at, is she could get to the rim if you gave her room, and if you packed the lane, she could drop a three. Her faith in me as a coach was heartwarming, and whatever I told her to do, without hesitation, she did it to try to win. The player-coach relationship, she's mentioned to me, that going on to college, that's one of the kind of the concerns she has, is what's that going to look like with the next person, and I appreciate that, because she really had a lot of faith in me as a coach. She was one of the best at playing that chaotic style that we like to play, where we play at a fast pace. We make you play at a fast pace, and that chaos she could live in and score in and steal the ball from the other team, and just thrived in that. With the game on the line, she wanted the ball. Fear was not an option for her, and she played well in big games. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Delaney Bowers. The second player I would like to talk about is a young lady who was born into a family that has a passion for the game, and honestly, her grandparents, parents, coaches, fans, a lot of people have tried to mold her game over the years. I think her entire family and anyone else can be proud of who she has become, not only as a complete basketball player, but a young lady with a strong moral character as well. She is tough, she is opinionated, she is motivated, and she has an extremely high basketball IQ. I am proud to have coached her and spent the last 4 years helping her on this amazing journey. Natalie has set the bar for players after her extremely high, and will be remembered as one of the ghosts that players come to, try to mimic their game after. She put in the work to be a great player, and she has earned everything she has been awarded throughout her special career. She's a tough player. She's a just gritty, fundamental, all-state basketball player that should definitely have been in the conversation for Player of the Year in Class 1. Offensive Player of the Year was Natalie Thomas. That concludes my portion of the award ceremony. Thank you for tuning in, and it was a special year, and we appreciate all the fans of our program. Thank you.
Man, do I miss you. I'm here to acknowledge and brag on the high school cheer team. Before I get into all that, though, I do have some thank yous I'd like to say. I'm going to start with thanking Kelly Kuda for making sure our team was a happy team, and that was by feeding us every day or every game. Thank you, Coach Thomas, for thinking of us throughout the season, whether it was just transportation related to make sure we could make it to the game, to allowing us to perform those extra routines during halftimes and between games and whatnot. So thank you for being supportive to our team. Coach Curtis and Mrs. Mack, thank you for your continued support and kind words throughout the season and beyond. And the Booster Club for all you do for the cheer team and athletes as a whole. Obviously, what we do would not be possible without all of you, and we're very appreciative. My assistant coach, Coach Nobis, thank you for being there for me. Some people might think it's a little frivolous for a cheer team to have 2 coaches, but I honestly couldn't do it without you. So thank you for being there for me and the team. Our cheer team this year included 12 athletes. I think you would agree with me that they were impressive and fun to watch this year. I got a lot of compliments from our fans, and believe me, I always passed them on to the cheerleaders. I wanted them to hear them as well. So thank you for those words of encouragement and support. We really enjoyed hearing them throughout the year. They were fun to work with. It's not always, as a coach, you can scour the internet and come up with these big elaborate plans and then take them to practice and actually watch them become successful and then watch them nail it at a game. It was a lot of fun to just watch the progress and just be a part of it. We didn't have any seniors this year, actually, or freshmen. It was all sophomores and juniors. So that means it's only up from here. I already have very high expectations. It's one of the reasons why I think our team is as good as they are, because I set that bar high. But when we have returning members, 12 returning members next year, hopefully, that bar is going to go even higher. So I'm going to have even higher expectations, and it's going to be fun. Our returning members this year who will be receiving a bar are Casey Dawson, Caitlin Bohr, McKaylin Drainer, Kylie Gentry, Jolene Hollensteiner, Emily Hoyt, Aubrey Stafford, Maddie Woodhurst, and then first-year team members who will be receiving a bar and a megaphone are Pierce Eckler, Brianna Cochran, Nicole Lovelace, and Erica Winman. For our individual awards, I only do a few. I'm going to start with our captain and co-captain, Aubrey Stafford and McKaylin Drainer. Ladies, your leadership and devotion to the team is what makes the 2 of you great at what you do and great for our team. I appreciate everything you did this year, and I look forward to what your senior years will bring for you and the team. So thank you for all of that. My next award is the Rookie of the Year award, and I'm going to award this to sophomore Nicole Lovelace. Nicole has a bright future ahead of her in cheer. She shows a lot of potential, and as just a current sophomore, I'm excited to watch her excel in the next couple years and hopefully beyond. Nicole, I hope you continue to work on improving yourself as a cheerleader, just like you did all year long. Keep up the work during the off season too, so you don't lose all your progress. I've got high hopes for you. My last individual award is the Best Team Player, and I'm going to give this to sophomore Jolene Hollensteiner. Jolene knows that cheer is the ultimate team sport, and she is always ready and willing to change her role if it's what's asked for her, because she always has the betterment of the team in mind. Jolene, you're becoming a great role model and senior member of the team, and I know that any existing members, as well as any incoming new members, can always find support in you, and I appreciate that. As a coach, it's just really comforting to know that our team has people like you. So thank you for doing what you do. So that pretty much wraps up my part. Like I said, next year, got high hopes for this group of athletes. It's going to be really fun to watch. We've got big plans in mind. You're going to see great things from this team. So thank you for watching. I hope you all are well, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.